It's a gift that I can't even measure. This record would not have happened without James. He wrote, sang, played, produced, engineered, arranged. He did everything. He made this record possible. He elicited from me the very best I had, and he made it better. I owe him a debt I will never be able to pay him. We have a great communication. We don't, he's not afraid of me at all. You see, Crosby, no, that's wrong. That's just wrong. You're wrong. Okay, now do it over. Just trust me. And I'll say, no, man, I like that. He'd say, Cross, shut up and sing. He's no problem at all. He respects me, but he's not intimidated not in the slightest bit. The relationship is extremely good. We're very, very frank with each other, very, very honest with each other. And he's incredibly talented. He's a much better musician than I am. The CSN set now has got, 6 new songs in it. I mean, it can't be bad. That's lifeblood. That's, wow, they're breathing. We don't want to be one of these bands that's just standing there in front of the slot machine, pulling the handle, trying to get 3 cherries in a row again. That's just not it. That's not us, and that's not life, and that's not being a musician. We need to, write, and we have been writing, and, as long as we are, I think we should. We owe it to ourselves and everybody else to write well and use them. I just am very happy that the other guys are writing, and because obviously, I had a bunch, because there's a whole solo album there, and I've got another one since then. It's one of my best. What that is stuff that I learned in AA. It's that, if you've made mistakes with your life, and I obviously have, you have to look at them. You have to look at them honestly. You have to sit down cold, sober, and look at them and say, okay, that's not who I want to be, and that's not where I want to be. How did I get there? Figure out how not to get there again, and then take that thing and set it down. Because you can't get on with your life if you're dragging a huge railroad car full of baggage. It just doesn't work. You have to learn from it, yes. Carry it around, no. I wrote those words and I thought, I think that's true. I think I've written a piece of truth here. If I had my way, we wouldn't do any business with the Chinese at all. What they have done to that country, they will never be forgiven for. Not ever. They have tried their level best to obliterate, wipe out, and erase all memory of one of the finest, oldest, and most beautiful cultures on the planet. And they've done it absolutely ruthlessly. They've shelled monasteries, raped nuns, shot monks. They have been utterly merciless, and I promise you, I believe in karma, and I think theirs is about as bad as it can possibly humanly be, and I count myself as a friend to the Dalai Lama and a supporter and a follower. China will pay someday in some awful way for what they have done there. It's a hideous thing what they did and what they are still doing. Those who rule the Middle Kingdom, which is how the Chinese think of themselves. There's the rest of us, there's the Middle Kingdom, there's heaven. They're the Middle Kingdom. Those who rule the Middle Kingdom hate the old man in the robes. They put up roadblocks everywhere he goes. And he says, have no anger in your heart for them. They know not what they do. Does that sound familiar to you? Some of my favorite words in there. I love working with Neil. And I'll tell you why. He set the bar very high. The guy writes incredible songs. All of them, not all of them, but he's written some of the best songs I've ever heard. The thing I love most about him is that he is not satisfied. That he will not just lay back and say, oh yeah, that'll do. It won't do. He wants to push the envelope more. He wants to get in deeper. He wants to get more intense. He wants to communicate an idea to you more strongly, more clearly. He's not satisfied. I love that about him. I love him for that. I love making music with the guy. But he will do it when he wants to, because that's how you get the best out of it. And it's the same thing with Roger McGuinn. I'd love to work with Roger again. He doesn't want to do it. If he doesn't want to do it, I gotta respect that. He wants what he's doing, and I do respect it. I know that Chris and I both would love to do it, because there's music there still to be made. And I know exactly how to fly wingman to Roger. I got that down. 3 CDs, 1974, 8 shows, down to 3 CDs of incredible stuff. There's a Pushed It Over the End on there that's one of the most intense pieces of music I've ever heard in my life, ever. It might be the single greatest Neil Young live, ever. I never heard anybody be that intense on a record, ever. Anybody, ever. Repeatedly all through this thing, there are moments that you just go, holy, wow, did they do that? It's stunning stuff. Yeah, I think so. Maybe not from those specific sessions, because we didn't really successfully generate any masters out of the time when he was trying it out with us. And I don't think it's his fault, so much. It just wasn't a chemistry. I'm not trying to slag the guy. He's done a lot of good work. We produced our own records. The Couch album, Deja Vu, stuff like we produced that. And it's not like, we pretty much knew how to make records when we got done with our first bands. Just to check, after a long period of months of trying it with him, we went into Jackson's Groove Masters and cut 5 things in 4 days. When we were singing Townsend's Behind Blue Eyes, I thought, we absolutely have to do this. This is too good. Or when you listen to us sing Blackbird, we sing it better than Paul does. And that's saying some stuff. I have a lot of respect for Paul, but we do it better.